Computer.
All right, good morning, DeKalb County Schools. Appreciate y'all being here this morning. Wanted to go over the HP large format printer with all of you, and this meeting is being recorded, so we'll be able to send this out to y'all, post it to where you can get to it again. So our goals today are to kind of go through the process to get this printer up and running and to show you guys the actual Click software, the HP Click software, which is going to make this process so much simpler to print. You can print large banners, poster size, whatever you want. All you have to do is have an electronic file. It's literally a drag and drop. It's super easy, but there's a couple steps that have to be done before we can get to that point. So I want to make sure that we're clear once we're all done, that you guys understand exactly the process that needs to happen, so there's no confusion. And then we can answer questions afterwards, after we've sent this out, and we can take some more personal attention after this. But we're going to take our time here to kind of go through that process and make sure you guys are aware of what needs to happen. Okay. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Shane. He's our technical support specialist, and he's going to kind of go through the process of what this entails. Shane?
Hello. So we're going to be going over the HP Click software today. It is to make the whole system very streamlined, very easy to use. And to do that, first you need your printer on the network connected with a data cable. And you'll need the HP Click software downloaded onto the computer. So the first thing we're going to show is the actual printer. If we could switch the other camera.
Yep, I gotcha.
So how you actually know if you're on the network, you're going to tap this to make it appear and drag from the top. And then you're going to press this button, has like 3 squares on it. Once you're on this screen, you can see if you have an IP address right here, that means you're on the network. The most important thing here, I would say, is this host name. I would either write down this host name or take a picture of it. It'll be relevant in just a second. And if you have that, we can go to the HP Click software.
Well, that was simple. Okay. So that's all that's needed there. All right, let's go back.
All right. And now we're going to be going over the HP Click software and how to get the printer tied to it. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to launch the HP Click software. And when it launches for the very first time, it's going to start auto detecting a printer. It's going to be looking for it. And that host name will come into play right now. The host name that you have should match this. It depends on how IT puts it onto the network. If they hide the printer, you'll have to add it manually. Once it's done auto detecting, we'll show how to do it manually if the auto detection fails. So right now this worked, but say it did not find it, but we know it's on the network. You click add, and then in this line, you type the host name that we wrote down. You just type it in right here, and then you can click done. It'll just autofill the rest. And once it's there, you're going to hit done. And now the program is ready to use, and it's synced with your printer. So the first thing you want to do, you want to add a file to it. I have a few different versions of the same file. So this supports JPG, PNG, or PDF files. So if a teacher comes to you with a picture they want, please ask for one of those 3 file types. I'm going to go ahead and add this one. And now that you can see how it all will look, here's the picture I just put into it. This back here is the printer, and then the arrows will show how it's going to print out. So right now, this would actually print upside down, and you can flip it around to see it. Right below it, you can actually see the page size. So right now, it would print 17 inches wide and about 11 inches lengthwise. If you hit this ... this is where we can change the size of it. The top button will change the size. They have a few general ones you can click on to see it, and they'll visually show the differences. Also update the numbers right here. There is half size, there's fit to landscape, which will put it as wide as possible. So now it's just under the 36 inches that this printer is by 22 inches long.
Will that distort the image, or will that still scale it
So
properly?
that will scale it properly.
Okay.
If you just click fit to source, fit to portrait, this will automatically scale it.
Nice. Okay.
If you click fit to portrait, this will in fact
Oh, wow.
print a 5-foot long banner.
Wow. Okay.
If you go down to the bottom where it says custom size, you can choose your own size. And if you only stick to one side, it will automatically scale it for you. So we wanted 15 inches, it'll automatically scale it correctly.
Nice.
For this demonstration, we're just going to leave it on original size. You can click right here. This can duplicate what you have. We'll just make another copy directly. If you click this, it will actually just remove the preview screen completely. Bring it back, and the final one will just delete the picture off the screen. So now you can just see we have the single picture.
Nice.
So we're going to add another one. And once it adds it in just a second, you're going to see that right now, it's actually, if you just hit print right now, it will print it essentially twice. It'll print this small one and then this even smaller one, which essentially wastes a lot of white space right here that we're able to fill with each other. If you click up at the very top where it says plain paper, this is where your actual printer settings are. You can choose either the roll or the tray to print to. You can choose color mode or black and white mode. You can choose the quality it will print at. It won't actually have an updates, but this will essentially be how much ink it actually uses. You can choose between the 3 different qualities. You can choose 2 different layouts. This is, we'll put a printer margin around it. If you choose this one, there'll be no printer margins. It'll print to the edge of the paper. The alignment will just show where it will print by default. And then the most important button right here is called the nesting button. It'll actually put the pictures side by side, so you don't have to waste paper if you don't want a banner as big as possible. The button right beside it will choose how far away. You can see there's now a gap between the 2 pictures I have.
Nice. And keep in mind too, on that plain paper, so when you change that source, you can just print, it has a regular paper tray as well. Mm-hmm. So the point of it obviously is to print larger, but if you were like, oh, I'm already connected, I'm in the software, I just need to print this one document, you can print it just as a regular 8.5 by 11 as well. So just keep that in mind. It's still just a printer. So this software just makes it super easy to print larger, as you can see, and scales everything for you. So you don't have to try to match it up and try to get it just right. It puts it on the paper for you, and then you can make those choices as Shane just showed you.
The last couple things, you can make additional copies. If you choose to, it'll just print this whole thing twice. And then if you put a frame on, it'll actually make a kind of like a white frame around everything for you. Finally, you can press the cutting lines, and then this will have physical cutting lines for you to cut around. It's useful for something like this, where it's just a completely white background, so you can cut it to size correctly. And when you're ready and you have everything set up, you can just hit print.
Print that guy out.
And this is sending it, so I'll be printing it in just a few seconds.
Nice. And what are the 3 say again? What are the 3 types of files they need to make sure they have?
PNG, JPG, or PDF.
Okay.
If you just save a picture on your computer, it will almost guarantee to be a PNG or a JPG. Like if you just click right click save as on an image, it'll be almost guaranteed to be the correct image image.
Okay.
The important one is the PDF. People have like documents and a PDF, but this supports PDF as well.
Yeah, I gotcha. And that would be nice too if somebody has a graphic or document that's a PDF, or I was thinking like a construction plan or something like that. They could actually print it in a larger scale. So that's actually a nice use. I'm trying to think of what I could actually print on here right now. So you can see here, hopefully you can see here that it's printing out as it prints. Once it completes, it actually cuts it off for you. And now you got a pretty little poster / banner. There's your things there. So
yeah, and so that is the HP Click software in a nutshell. Very simple program, very easy to use.
Very simple. Okay. Anything else we need to know? Any tidbits or any tips or anything like that we need to know about?
I would say the last thing, I mentioned this earlier, but this paper tray does support larger sizes.
Okay.
So you can actually make it bigger. So it supports all the way up to like 13 by 9. So if you need to print a legal document on legal paper, this can support that as well.
Very good. Okay. Very nice. All right. Awesome. Well, I think that about completes it. Well, thank y'all. We'll be sending this out to y'all. So, and if you need any personal assistance after this, we're happy to help. Hopefully that was easy enough for you to kind of go through, and should be pretty easy to print for you. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.